this is kind of the central difficulty, I think, of covering climate change. It's like, what is the way that you can keep it hopeful, and that you can, while still kind of conveying the emergency nature, the all pervasive nature of what's going on. I don't think there's necessarily a kind of magic key that I have to kind of like explain that or unlock it. But I do think that there's like, to me, I started realizing, like, as I was pitching more and more stories about climate change, I was like, oh, I need to think about this more tactically. Like, there are a lot of stories that are out there that are just the stories that are being done because they need to be done, and they're the same story we've heard 100 times. And then that's the thing, that reading those 100 stories makes you feel like you're sort of sliding down into that, into that morass of like I can't do anything. This is all overwhelming. And so for me, I've like been really trying to think about it tactically. Like, it's like, what are the stories actually that I can tell, that will do that thing, that will actually change people's minds, or that aren't just me doing a climate change story so that I can say I did a climate change story and feel fine about myself and go to bed that night and be like, I'm so great. But actually, like, that will go out in the world and really, I don't know, change people's minds, fill them in on a certain corner of what's going on, that whether through their personal behavior, through their mental framing of a certain issue, through their government, through whatever, there's something that actually there's a piece of it that they own, and that is that feels like mutable and changeable, and like that feels, something feels doable about it. To me, I think it's like, I don't know. I've tried to get a lot more tactical about that, because climate change, just in general, it's like, to me, it's like, it's as if you design something that is really difficult to cover. It's like, it's not necessarily, it's like very hard to make it human scale, and immediate. It's like vague and big and like a long, slow burn, although it's now going to be much more, it is and will continue to be much more active and stuff. But anyway, there's a lot of things about it that are challenging in terms of the storytelling. So for me, I don't know, I've just been thinking about a lot tactically, like what's the kind of story that you can actually crack and actually like make a difference, as opposed to just adding onto the pile of, here's another story that's saying the same thing that you've heard 100 times.